Production Yamzanzi Ilus Kwafela. That's awkward. Forget about it. Maths was kicking my ass. Film and television is what I wanted to do. My parents, they were just like, I feel like life is a game of balance. I've worked with clients such as VW, Investec. Talk to me nice.
Hello.
People like Momentum Insured, Glenfiddich.
Welcome to the Millennials Corner, where most of us are lost in a trend.
What do you do, Buffet? To welcome to another episode of TMC Podcast. Well, I actually feel like I should say an exciting episode of TMC Podcast because we are chilling with a multidisciplinary storyteller who, as she says, enjoys exploring abstract timelines as well as the worlds that exist within us as human beings. On this episode, we will be touching on some of the boxes that I believe she's proud to have ticked, from obtaining a degree in film and television from the University of Johannesburg, and then furthering her studies in multimedia to finally bagging a qualification in advertising through Umuzi Academy. Well, that's not all there is to Paballo Mokwena, aka Pblo. She is a visual storyteller, a director, and a performer. But before we get started, I checked the numbers, right? And they suggest that 72.2% of everyone who watched our last episode have not yet subscribed, which gets me wondering, why? Like, why? So please, if you haven't subscribed, do us a solid and hit that subscribe button because it really helps us keep the TMC magic alive. And if you're wondering why you should subscribe, I need to remind you that TMC is the brainchild of some super cool millennials who like to talk about technology, creativity, and everything in between. But no, the message is gotten across. Let me hook Paballo in. Ntona, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you so much, Joe, for joining us for TMC Podcast. I want to say, we are honored. Pila, we are not worthy. You said you are good. What's the longer version to that answer?
I am feeling present in this very moment in time. I'm thankful that we are here together as collaborators. Sure. I am feeling very calm and centered because I know that this is the truth. And the universe conspired to bring us all together for us to share in this moment. So I'm very grateful that we are here doing the things.
Caring and sharing. So we have a culture with TMC, or break the ice. Okay. What would usually happen in Caesar would prepare like an icebreaker so that when we get into the things, we are all settled and calm. Do you think you can do that with us?
Yes, I am down. I'm for it.
Okay, so this one is actually film specific because you're in the industry. The first one, we're gonna look into it.
No pressure.
We're going to look into the Caesar. What's that note you sent? Okay, I got it here. Icebreaker, yeah, I got it. So I want you to guess which movie this line is from.
Pressure. Now like test a little bit if I really watch films.
Sure. Arka, are you ready?
Get ready. Sure. Get ready, boy.
I am the king of the world. Come on.
There's a lot of movies where people claim to be royalty. I am the king of the world. Yeah. It's giving King Kongi.
You want to try again here? Okay, so get how it coffee. Try again.
Another tip that you can give me. I'm the king of the world.
It's timeless. It was continued because because of how it ended. It was kind of like impossible to expand it, I guess. It's sea-based, ocean.
Titanic.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. When you said timeless, I was like Titanic. Did Leo?
Because they call like a T.
Yeah, maybe something like that. So Leo DiCaprio said that line.
Yeah, he's the one who was like, I made up by the.
By the ledge.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Lord cockpit. Yes, sir. So, smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Madagascar, my fave. I actually had a DVD of Madagascar, so I know like the script in and out. I kept on watching it, so I love Madagascar. I love it.
Did it inspire some of the work that you do?
Definitely my voice acting and just like expanding your mind. Like Alex the Lion does trapeze. Like he just does these things that are like weird. You wouldn't think that a cat would do that, a cat that's in the zoo. So it makes you open up your mind and like see, okay, that's possible. Let's show it.
Msizi was actually judging me that I haven't watched Madagascar.
Now naga go jaja. Yo, Madagascar 1, 2, 3. Watch them. They're
The other
amazing.
one we have here, Barry, in South Africa, you can go a long way with a smile. You can go much further with a smile and a gun.
It's giving Bomatsotsi. Far off.
Kerapulani si Pemo, who said that thing. Kerapulani si Pemo, right? Tau from Generations.
He was in a wedding movie. Is it that the wedding movie?
No. It's a gangster movie.
Gangster's Paradise?
Yes, sir. It's a gangster, but that's the title of the movie.
My next guest is Jerusalem. So
That's the movie, Jerusalem. That's actually Gangster's Paradise, Jerusalem.
Ghana, they have like
Yeah.
two titles for the one movie.
Sure,
What do you think about that? Is it not confusing?
I haven't watched it. Oh, you mean having two titles for one movie?
O lebella eng? O kgona go bua gore Tau generations, o lebella generations fela.
No, well, Msizi, when we were preparing this one, sponsored some clips. This is what I'm talking about because I was confused as hell.
Humans, please watch movies. Please don't be like guy. Watch your films or watch movies. Watch South African films. Ke tlo go nna ka go jaja ke se go jajile for the whole year.
O tla ndirela watch list, ne?
Ke tlo go letsa yona mara tshwantse o e lebelle ga ke tlo ira
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Sure. So now re qetile ka the lines from a movie. We're just gonna ask you like basic questions around the film space in SA. Which South African movie has won an Oscar?
Tsotsi.
Sweet.
Or as the Americans say, Sosi.
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 Deserve it?
Definitely. The fact that those actors, a lot of the actors weren't actually actors, they were just people. Oh my goodness.
Who was the lead actor from a TV series called Isitunzi? It played on Mzansi Magic.
Kitusombedu.
Yes, sir.
Oh, the queen.
The queen.
Queen.
The queen of the north, queen of the south, queen of the south. Yeah, do you feel like that's how we come to the end of the icebreaker? Do you feel like it's officially broken?
Yes, I'm glad that I got things right.
Nah, you don't. We actually exceeded expectations.
Oh, purr.
Okay, the first question actually I wanted to unpack who is Pblo, because probably a lot of people are wondering TMC went out of their way, to get this beautiful lady on to the podcast. Let's talk about who you are, where you're from. Like I need to get a sense of your childhood,
Okay.
Yeah.
Lina laka ke Paballo Mokwena. I come from a mountainous town called Rustenburg. Rustenburg has a lot of energy. It has a lot of vibes. People are very grounded and quite cultured. So it's a very calm place to be in. I grew up between my grandparents' homes and my parents' home. So I'm a product of different worlds, always seeing different worlds, different perspectives. I went to Selly Park Convent Primary School. That's where I fell in love with reading. Like I was always in the library. I was always getting books. Every week we'd be issued like 2 books. By the time the week ended, I've already gone back to the library to get a new book because I don't know. I feel like these words, like they come alive and then like I see something in my mind. So I really enjoy reading. I'm the firstborn, so pressure what it do too. I've got a younger brother. He's such a sweet guy. His name is Tirelo. I like my mom and my dad gave me the name Paballo. His name is Tirelo. So like, I think my parents are creative.
What does Paballo mean?
Paballo means divine protection.
Tirelo.
Something. It's not my name, so I don't think I need to know. I'll ask my mom after this. What does tirelo mean?
Not in a job spec as a sister.
Yes. Tirelo, maar ga se mosebetsi or something like a work or a ceremony of some sorts, I think. Yeah, I think that's what it means. So I left Sally Park Convent Primary School, and then I attended Fields College and high school. And Bendigo. Teenagehood. Making sense of the transition and the change. It was a lot, finding your place in this world. And just like trying to pass koskolong, trying to do your best. I don't think I was like a sporty type of child. I would try sports. I tried soccer. I enjoyed swimming when I was in primary school. But I realized that like my greatest muscle is my mind. So I nourish my mind as much as possible or as best as I can.
Sure. I love to hear that.
No,
yeah, let's go.
So that's Paballo Mokwena. Pblo is the persona that's creative. Pblo is the person that goes after her dreams despite all the difficulties and the challenges that might come. And yeah, I'm just very passionate. I'm a passionate creative. Not only do I direct, I also act. And I also write. I'm also a camera operator. And for me, it's about expression. So I use these disciplines to find out about myself. And then I relate what I learn back to people. And if we can resonate, that makes me happy. If not, that's okay too.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is, baby. Forget about it.
While we are still in your upbringing, the Paballo who was still in Rustenburg, during that time, what would you say was like that moment where you probably picked out, okay, maybe I might be a creative?
I was in grade 4 and we were supposed to do a nativity play. So all the girls had to audition for the lead role. In all the girls that auditioned, your girl got the role. What? And I think for the first time in my life, I felt like I found my voice and I found something that's working for me, because other kids were really great at academics. They knew what their favorite subjects were. And then when I got cast for this role and I worked on the role and I worked alongside my co-lead, something in me just like was stirred, like something in me. The fact that this role came with, like, I had to work hard to get it, but acting comes with ease when I'm doing it, as opposed, like when I compare studying to acting, I really work hard to make sure that, board mass. So, yay, maths was kicking my ass. So the fact that I had found this outlet to be myself, to use my talents, I was I felt really blessed, and I felt like for the first time I've met Paballo and Paballo's power.
And I really feel like it's, like, what makes it even beautiful is that you discovered it at a very young age. You know what I mean? Because how I grew up, well, speaking for myself, my parents would always say, and I used to be very good go bolong, and growing up I thought maybe that's where I was gonna make my money, but they wanted me to go to school and pass and do well, and I think that restricted me from discovering what I could be outside of, the linear way they thought was the way to success. So, and I think maybe that's what makes your story even beautiful, that you discovered that at a very early age, and you did it very well. So from that, you now come to that phase mo eleng gore tlamelo ya university. How do you make that decision? I'm going to study film and television. And while we are that, how was that transition now from Rustenburg, the rural Kasi, to now the big city?
First of all, Rustenburg is a town. Please put some respect on our name. It's okay. So to answer your question, I find your story very touching because I can relate to it. I like how you say, I discovered my talent young. In the art space, it feels like people discover their talents when they're like 5, 6. Like that's when they start doing their thing. So I always saw it as I started later. But thank you for that affirming word, like I realized it when I was younger. Yeah. But even though I was growing in it, my parents, they were just like, what's that? 18. What Like, I'm like, girl, I can be more than Karabo Moroka, you know? So, it was hectic because I told my parents that I'm going to study law. And the girl knew that she wasn't going to study law, that film and television is what I wanted to do. So in January, before going to school, getting ready, I'm like, oh, parents, by the way, I told you guys I'm going to study law. Psych. I'm going to have to just pursue this because I know that you don't understand it. And I know that, like, it's difficult for you to maybe, like, show me the support that I need. But how far I can take this. And they were just like not impressed. They were not impressed at all, but I still pushed because I have this burning desire in me. So, just go for it. Go for that thing and pursue your dreams fearlessly, right? The transition between coming from Rustenburg, getting into Joburg, it was very hectic. Joburg is fast. Joburg is very, very, very fast. People here are different as well. Everyone is moving. The pace, like, here we are goal-oriented. Our Rustenburg is chilled sauce. Rustenburg is like...
from sunrise to sunset.
All we need is an ocean. Yeah, we just need a beach by Rustenburg. Like, the beach babe. So the transition was hectic, but I think somehow I survived. I would constantly visit my aunt. She stays in Joburg. So she helped me also, like, remember that piece of home because I couldn't always travel back home to Rustenburg. Okay. So I think being with my little cousins from time to time kind of sort of helped me deal with the transition, and it wasn't too jarring.
Sure. Cool. So while you were still in Rustenburg, what are the surrounding areas that you would usually like visit? Like, I know there's your Kosters, there's your Breads, and then which one would you say you found like kind of like fascinating?
I have family ko Lefarakgatla. I have family I enjoy go ya ko Lefarakgatla.
Lefarakgatla, is it like a town within Rustenburg or outside?
I think it's inside of Rustenburg. It's very interesting because like we've got the like Bojanala district, and then there's
I used to play for Bojanala.
Oh, is that why you're asking? You wanna slide in? Bopukenyi. I also have family go Pukenyi. I'm trying to remember So like places like Bukeng are under royalty. So I like seeing the differences between when you're like in town, seeing how the town is developing, and then when you go to the places where they are under the royal family, like what are the differences? What do we experience? How does the government take care of you guys versus the municipality that's working underneath the royal family? It's just very interesting because these places are a few kilometers away. Sure. But yeah, we're very different as people. So my cousins would like introduce me to different things that I didn't know. Because like sometimes they're just like, city girl. I'm like, no, I'm not a city girl. I'm not a Johannesburg. So yeah.
Back to talking about Pblo and the creativity.
Before that, are you from Rustenburg?
No, I'm not from Rustenburg, but I'm from, like I played for Northwest Provincial Squad, so I would travel those areas a lot.
Okay, where are you from in Northwest?
I'm from Matilestad, and then I schooled Komakapani, and then that's how I actually got to start playing regioning Bujana.
Okay, proper.
So now, Pblo, you are in a space where you have moved to Jozi, and then you say you grew up in a space that did not really celebrate creativity, right? Those were not your exact words, but I assume that's what you mean. It didn't celebrate creativity. So now you move into the big city. How would you say like that moving impacted your creativity? Like what impact did it have on what you wanted to do?
I was way more expansive in my thinking. I became way more expansive in my being because now I've got the freedom to operate in a way in which I want to operate. I get to try new things out on my own accord. And I don't have to explain things as much to my family. I don't need to ask for permission to go to an art gallery. I don't need to ask for permission to go watch a production.
Curfew for who?
For what? For what?
Permission for who?
Wait, I need to take up the space.
Please.
Yes. Yeah. So I really enjoyed what Joburg has done for my creativity because even just the people that are around you, you see how effortlessly they flow in their calling. So you're just like, wow, I like that. It's not even a thing. You don't even need to explain that you're an artist and this is what you do. You just become it. You are it. You embody it fully. Mm-hmm. So that really inspired me to also be audacious in my creativity, in my art practice. Let me be as honest as possible and let me live out my truth. I don't need to hide this part of myself anymore. Because people made me feel like I'm weird. People made me feel othered. Like, I always was like, when I'm in a space, it's like, oh, her? Oh, you mean her? You mean Paballo? Oh. So it helped me feel like there's a space for me to thrive.
What would you even dedicate that to? Like, would it be the kind of a person that you were, or the kind of people by you engage with, how spacing? Because sometimes it's easy, or how in a new place you become very introverted because you don't want to expose yourself to different things. And if you land in the hands of people by they are outgoing, and they like to explore things, they could actually help you amplify that personality. So what would you say actually propelled you to be able to go, to those art galleries, to attend all those events? They actually solidified the fact that I want to do this.
Nna ke rata dilo. Ke rata dilo. Stratmate.
Count me in.
So, in as much as I really like being home, I love my solitude. I love being in my own space, but I also like going out to explore different things. So then I learned that I don't know if I'm extroverted or if I'm introverted. Maybe I'm an ambivert. Ambivert. So I'm the middle. Like, I enjoy being to myself, but I also enjoy going out there, trying new things, meeting new people. And it is in meeting new people, they also helped me. They helped me gain more confidence in what I'm doing, in myself, because ke motho o ratang dilo, ke lo kopana le batho ba ba ratang dilo, and then ba mpontsha gore dilo tshwantse di ratiwe yana. Go itsiwa yana, a re kwa, a re etse yana, a re etse yana. People have tried to introduce me to different things that I didn't like. I'm fine with that. At least I got to experience it. Yeah. Some people introduce me to things that I really like, and I enjoy that. But yeah, I really like giving myself different experiences in life in general. So I think that's why I can try different things out. But some people have had to drag me out of the house for us to go try new things out. So shout out to Safe Spaces.
You know how we write excuse about it. We want to go out. Then you make excuse. Guys, I don't have clothes. Everyone now they're coming with solutions. Joe, we wear the same size. Get offer something from my wardrobe.
Jays, bring
guys, I don't have money. Don't worry. We'll cover everything.
We'll cover it for you. Yeah. Guys, hakena koloi. Re tla go biletsa Uber.
Sure.
Guys, my eye is twitching. Re tla go rekela eye drop gore leitlho le stop go twitcha. So sometimes I do need people to push me to do new things, because sometimes you overthink and then you think, oh no, I'm tired, or I need to study, but yeah, sometimes you just need to breathe and just let life flow, let life be.
In every stage, we go through as human beings, there's always someone at the center of it, right? Whether it was like a very horrible face that you want to put behind you, or it was like like the one that actually changed your life for better. This particular time now where you like in Jozi and then you're exploring all these things, who would you say was that one person who really moved the needle for you and showed you things and supported you through thick and thin?
I need a moment, please.
I need a moment. You got all the time you need, ma'am. You are the star in the house.
Yo, mare e putse nesi yo mo the Google Doc.
Impromptu.
Like improvise alone. Okay. I'm trying to just think about how I must structure this answer. The one person. So.
Is this too many, ne?
No. It's. Hey. But okay, it's fine. Let me try by all means to give you the answer. When I came to Joburg, I met the love of my life.
Yeah, that's why you had to like search for it deep.
Yes, and he's been helping me and supporting me whenever I needed to go on set, busigu, or like early in the AMs, like 5 a.m. call times. He'd make sure that I get there safely. He's the one that I can text and like count on. Getting gear in order to propel my career. He was always there. So I'm really appreciative. Wait, can you please not, because now I'm speaking in past terms because we're not together anymore, right?
Okay.
That's why I found it very difficult to speak about it, because I don't know which tense to use.
But we're speaking in the past, right? Okay. Because that's when the question, that's the tense in which the question was asked.
And then it's going to seem like we're still together though.
But you're not, just to put it out there.
So I don't know if I should put it out there. Yeah, guys, by the way, Pablo is not. I'm not in a relationship anymore. That's why I'm struggling to answer it.
Another question, actually, it's been like lingering in my mind. I've always wondered, you have worked on big productions, obviously, and you can walk us through which productions were those. But what I really want to get to is how was the experience working in big productions as opposed to working on your own personal project?
So I've worked with clients such as VW, Investec.
Speak to me nice. Hello.
Talk to me nice.
Hello.
People like Momentum Insured, Glenfiddich. So I really enjoy big productions because of the collaboration aspect. There's a lot of people and there's more like definite roles for everyone. So we've got the director, we've got the camera operator, we've got the client, we've got the producer, everything is meant to flow. I've just learned that with working with like corporates and a client, you always need to make sure that they're happy. Yeah. Because usually creatively they come to you to solve a problem in the most creative way. And then you as the creative are going to think of it in the most creative way possible, but you also have to put technicalities into perspective. Yeah. And then you also need to understand that you are answering someone's problem, or you have to meet the quotas that the client wants to meet. So the client is coming here on behalf of, they want you to produce X amount of work for this reason, and that's it. So you need to make them happy. They need to be part of the process. Like, we have to have review sessions. They revert back to you. They tell you to change this. They tell you to do that. So there can be quite a lot of back and forth that happens, or like it's like a dance of sorts. We need to find our flow between client and creatives, right? So yeah, when you are working on a passion project, or when I'm working on a passion project, I find that I'm not on a time constraint, number one. So I let the work be. I let the art be. If this thing is frustrating me, I'm not gonna fight it. Like, if you want to be your own thing, get a computer and I go take a walk. Whereas when the client wants something and this work is frustrating you, baby, why you are? There's no time for, my art needs more time. I need 7 more years to make this complete. I need to perfect it. You can't always want to be in control of what the art will be. But when it's a passion project, you can flow, you can be more honest, you can be more reflective with yourself, because I think that when you're an artist, you're on a journey of discovering something. So you need to be honest with that discovery, and you need to take it for what it is. The challenges with passion projects is that if uliwane, now you're wearing all the hats. You have to solve that problem. But YouTube, they're there to help you, but still, it can be very lonely. Being an artist can be very, very lonely.
Yeah, and texting on time also, because now you have to learn the finance side of things, the edit side of things, the production side of things. But you also speak on corporate gigs being like a journey where you discover yourself, and that actually gives me an idea that what you do most likely involves a lot of personal growth and self-discovery. So is there a moment in your life that you would say, Jorge, it really changed your perspective to film, and just creativity as a whole?
I think I'm constantly evolving as a person. I'm constantly growing and learning different things. For me, it just starts with a question. So once I have a question, I know that I'm about to go on a journey, and that journey is going to bring forth things that I can't even imagine. I can't preempt what is going to come about. So there are a lot of life-changing things that have happened on my journey. For example, not getting my degree in record time. That was very life-changing, because I was pursuing studies and working at the same time. So working took precedent, and then studies started lacking. So now I need to be realistic with what I'm doing. Do I want this degree, or do I want to leave my studies and then just work full time? But how far can I go if I don't just complete the degree, especially because I just have one elective left? All I need to do is go back for a couple of months, finish that up, and then I've got the degree. But I was just so done by the time that I reached third year. I was tired. I had nothing left in me. I didn't have anything to give at that time, even to just my job, even to people, even to myself, because I've given so much to my art dreams. I've given so much. I've had to fight. I've had to fight really, really hard. So that was a moment where I really shifted my perspective on who I am as an individual, who I am as a career-driven hun, and how I want to solidify my place in the industry. So yeah, that changed my perspective.
During that time, because it seems like it was a moment of some personal hardship, what did you lean on to find courage and strength to keep going?
I leaned on myself. There was someone in me that kept telling me to push, even though I had nothing left in me. I was leaning on, I don't know, there weren't really people who I could say that I was leaning on at that time, because nobody really understood. Like, if people are telling you to just pursue, to just keep on going, like, for example, my parents were just like, no, but you've come this far. Just do it. Just do the thing. I don't understand. Just like finish. So you know. And then I was like, I'm empty at that point. Yeah, there were some bad habits that I picked up on. And it's okay. It's fine. I was going through something very strenuous. So it's okay that, like, you know, I did those things.
Please
but
talk me through the habits. Like, I find that very intriguing. What do you do? What do you get up to? Just briefly, like talk me through those things, because I feel like there's someone who could be watching this thing and they feel like, oh, I'm probably the only one who's doing this, and I'm done. And then by hearing you saying, "But I also went, through the same thing," you're not alone.
The bad habit that I got, I like wine. But I was abusing the wines. The wines wasn't my friend. Me and the wines were in a toxic relationship. So I would go from work, and then before getting off ka taxi, go ke fologang teng, ke fologa ko spa, to Tops we go.
Yes,
Tops we go. And I just down and down and down. And then I wake up in the morning on I didn't even finish my glass. I was so tired. But a healthy habit, I like focusing on my healthy habits. A healthy habit was cheerleading. I would take dance classes. I was a cheerleader at UJ. So always being with the girls, being hyper, being, focused on healthier ways of dealing with things helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And the wines.
Yes, sir. The wines.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Dry red, baby.
Yeah,
we don't play.
I'm sure after that they missed you, got Tops in it. Because things had gone down from
I'm
Tops
never
to
telling
down.
you anything ever again.
Naked is the hand now. So I actually want to ask Jorge, when did you discover Umuzi? Was this in at what stage of your life did you learn about Umuzi?
When I completed my studies, so I decided to go back to school and complete my studies.
Okay.
And then unemployment hit like a wave.
Yes,
Yee. Guys, ke Mzansi. And I was going through a lot because I fought to get into UJ to study film, number 1. And then I fought to complete the degree, number 2. Now that I have it, I'm fighting to secure a job. And that just broke me. I was broken, but that shattered me completely. I got into a heavy and a dark depression, unfortunately. But, we good now. We good now. That's when I discovered Umuzi. I actually discovered it while I was studying go UJ. And I was like, they want full-time commitment. So I don't think I'll be allowed to leave UJ to do that, and allowed by my parentals. So I was like, Umuzi is nice, Umuzi is great. I met another photographer that was in Umuzi Academy. She explained how amazing it is. And I was like, okay,
you can mention the name?
Basitsana Khumalo.
Shout out,
yes.
Basitsana.
I like that. Yeah. Let's put people on. Let's put creatives on. I like that.
Sure.
And then years later, I come across Umuzi, and the process that took 7 years. Oh, that application process. Child.
7 years?
No, it didn't take 7 years.
Oh,
probably.
okay.
It was just a long process.
I was like, and how old are you, Pablo?
No, it's just that you fill in your name, and then they want to know your name in Swahili and your name in French, and then they want to know where you are from. But where are you really from though? But really
before
really
you got
from.
here, where are you from? Yeah.
They asked a lot of questions. Yeah. And then after the application process, they we need a week for you to prove that you really want this. And you're like, guys, I spent so long with the application process. And then it is in that week I met you.
Yes, sir.
I met you and you were giving me like hella vibes, like you were giving me good energy. And I didn't know if I wanted to be in the Umuzi Academy during that week.
Yeah.
I was around so many talented people. Yeah, I felt intimidated. I felt very intimidated. And I was just like, I don't know if this is it for me. I think imposter syndrome was also kicking in because I had been unemployed for so long. I didn't know if I was worthy of even having an opportunity that's good for me.
Yeah.
And then I got accepted at the end of the week. And I was so happy, actually. I was like,
to yourself, who was not sure or skeptical about Umuzi then, today, what advice would you give them?
girl, stop overthinking.
Yeah, like specifically Umuzi, right?
Yeah.
And how it changed your life. Yeah.
Stop overthinking things. It might not be something that you envisioned for yourself, but it doesn't mean it's not meant for you, and it doesn't mean that it won't open doors for you. You might have the vision and you might have the goal that you're trying to achieve, but your path brings things that you never thought would come. So be open to being pleasantly surprised. And the Umuzi journey, wow, I completely changed. In Umuzi, after Umuzi, even years after Umuzi, I keep on seeing the evolution and I'm like, wow.
Yep.
Wow. Yep. Shout out to being an expensive being.
Yes, speaking of being an expensive being, you have also worked on some really expensive projects, personal projects. Equilibrium, Bophelo ke ntwa.
Even though we're not soldiers, mara bophelo ke ntwa.
Please, ko Ukraine ba batla ba sone, please. Ko pareng ntweng. Do you see
The
that
political
video? Did you
lona.
see that video ya basone a training, subs training?
Ga ise ke lebelele, ga ise
It's
ke
fine.
bone. It's good to know that you watch things other than Generations.
As I was saying, Jorge, you've worked on some expensive projects, Equilibrium, Bophelo ke ntwa, beep, 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 beep. What is a short film? And how did that concept, Equilibrium, come about?
So I was in varsity and they wanted us to pitch concepts in order for us to make short films. So usually a feature film is 1 hour, 30 minutes long. So I wouldn't say anything under 1 hour, 30 minutes is a short film, because if it's 1 hour, I feel like that's a full-on film. But my film, Equilibrium, is 5 minutes long. So that's what constitutes it as a short film. It's experimental because, it's different. When I saw it in my mind, I knew that it's something that I've never seen before. I remember pitching it to my lecturer, and my lecturer was like, Equilibrium, duplicity.
Yeah.
What? Multiple timelines, abstract dimensions.
Worlds within us.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she really didn't get the concept. And it was the first time I took a no and I turned it into my own yes. I was like, you know what? I know that you don't get it, but for some reason I get it. I'm very passionate about telling the story because it's my own personal story, the story of someone who has always been from different worlds. And then I come into a new space and now I need to find myself in this world. Who am I? I was seeing flames. The girl was going through the most. The girl was going through it.
The pressure was getting worse.
And then she didn't take my concept. It was even worse. Like, because I really just wanted to explore that concept, right? And then I wrote the script because I think writing the script took me on a journey of understanding what it is that is happening inside of me with my emotions and my feelings, the confusion, the doubt, the distrust, the traumas, what needs to heal, what keeps on resurfacing. So I wrote the script and then I realized that it is not the time now to make this. I'm not ready. technically I wasn't ready, financially I wasn't ready, spiritually, everything I wasn't ready. So I let the script sit. I was like, when the time comes, I shall do the things. Fast forward years later, I was working as a camera operator at Indie Village Creative. And then they said, please bring concepts. We just want to do something passion-based, which is something that we're not used to with corporate creative, right? We're always chasing the bag. We're always trying to meet deadlines that the client did. So I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that they want to do a passion project. I pitched my concept. My concept got chosen.
Nice. What do you do?
What
do you do, baby?
And then, I went on to make my first short film that I wrote and directed.
Nice. What is the short film based on?
It is based on skibber skir. My bad. Can I drink some water? So my short film Equilibrium is based on a girl who's just trying to find herself. Her name ke Rethabile, Retaregale. So she has like split personalities in a sense, and her split personalities come through her camera. So there's a surreal element to it. Every time I try a camera, something different comes out of her. But now she has the ability to see herself fully. She sees her good, she sees her bad. Now what does she do in order to make those two worlds meet and find a balance? Hence the title Equilibrium. I feel like life is a game of balance. Don't be afraid of your darkness. Don't give too much to your light. Don't give too much to your light. Rather, exist in your light, but also realize that the darkness is there for a reason. Don't run away from it. Don't fight it. Let them coexist so that they can be harmony.
You just mentioned, Jorge, that project initially, it was rejected, right? Well, obviously that just gives an idea, Jorge. Pursuing a career as a creative can be a pretty extreme spot, so how did you actually find it within you to keep going, in the face of adversity? And this is the times when you are rejected and feel like, okay, now you have to take a serious setback.
After crying, a lot of crying happens because rejection isn't easy. So you cry, you feel those feelings. Like if you feel disappointed, if you feel hurt, that's okay. Feel those emotions and those feelings so that they can pass. Because now you learn something. You learn how to approach the next audition, or you learn how to approach the next pitch or the next job interview. Because the reality is that we try so much as creatives to make things work, and things aren't always aligned. But it doesn't speak to your inability. It doesn't mean that you're whack. If things are unaligned, ask what you need to do in order to be in alignment. So you also have to have a strong sense of self. Be confident in yourself. Know yourself. Know that when someone rejects you, whether they say it's about you or not, don't internalize that. You don't need that. You don't need that noise inside you. Pursue what you want to pursue. If you have a goal and if you have a vision, it's for a reason. That's a God seed, So tend to that seed. Be strategic in the next way you move. If you've encountered a lot of rejection, but be honest with the process. Be honest with the process so that it flows.
Away. So when we started this chat, actually, I asked you, how are you feeling? You said you're okay. And then I was like, what's the longer version? That answer, right? And this question is actually based on that. I think I want us to actually expand a little bit on that, because Haneko Stalker, I deduced that you are a chakrahan. You know what I mean?
I'm wearing a mood ring, so I guess I am. The mood ring.
So I actually wanted to get a sense of what's your take on, mental health, and how do you keep yourself mentally fit and healthy?
I go through it a lot. I go through the most.
That makes the two of us.
Squaw. Gang.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
I think also recognizing that people struggle mentally, that helps. It makes you feel seen, and it makes you feel less weird and less othered, knowing that mental health is something that a lot of people struggle with, right? So I try to, I like working out, I like doing yoga, I like meditating. Well, I like the concept of meditating. It's very difficult to keep the mind quiet, or to be honest with the thoughts, right? Because I thought when I approached meditating, I thought that I have to be silent, nothing must be in my mind. But then I've come to learn that you're just letting the thoughts flow, you're letting them be, you're listening to the thoughts, you're listening to everything, and it's okay. I've tried therapy, and she has given me very interesting insights into how I think or why I think. And she's also given me some mechanisms to try and deal with things if shit hits the fan. And then, just having a community of people who also understand what it is that you're going through, people who are supportive and helpful, that helps me come back to a more grounded sense of something. It's a journey.
So still on the topic of mental health, right? Do you think this is something that I'm going to put color to it, the Black community? Do you think it's something that the Black community takes seriously? For now, specifically growing up, it's not something that was spoken about, or it's something we were surrounded by people by who they would acknowledge, especially our parents. They how are you depressed when the fridge in a lidijo, ojele, what do you mean? So do you think that mental health is something that we really take serious as the Black community?
I think first and foremost, do we even have the language? Mental health, mental illnesses, depression again, anxiety again, Sesotho. So, I think sometimes when we see a problem of some sort, we need to look at the root cause of that problem,
Arena anxiety, depression, that's a lady.
And it's if we had the language for it, I think that would open the gateway for us to take it seriously, or to just even understand it, come to understand it. If you understand that there's a term called intrusive thoughts in vernac, then it's so intrusive thoughts, when one thought enters, other thoughts now come flowing. These are all negative. Now you feel enclosed in these thoughts. How do we explain it in vernac? Anxiety. I only came to learn this terminology as I've grown up. When I was going through the most as a teenager, I didn't know that there was something called anxiety. Oh, you learn that in LO. And
I think the issue is learning these things ka English. Just to pass, not really deeply understand them, you know what I mean? Because I feel like we learned a lot of things, we just learned really fitties, over our heads. It wasn't things we really felt like we needed to understand. Life skills, they were really important things they are taught in life skills. When the older we grow, we see, okay, maybe that thing was relevant for this stage of my life because I was never really trained or taught how to apply it in real life. Then it becomes very difficult for me to recall and apply it.
I like what you're saying.
It's like what Rita Schoa.
hey, wena.
Hey,
Hey,
bana
wena.
yami,
And
bana
it's not
yami.
just about the terminology, like you're saying. Do we have the steps in order to, like, go forward and heal ourselves or make sense of everything? So I think we're trying. To be honest, as Black people, we're really trying our best, doing the best with what we've got.
Yeah, and I think it's this generation.
Definitely.
I was scrolling through IG when I bumped into this video. This guy was actually trying to explain the concept of shouting when people are angry at each other. He was like, we are here, then why are you shouting? And he's like, you are shouting because although we are together here in flesh, but our hearts are far apart from each other, that we feel the need to shout to make up for that gap between our hearts. And I felt like that is so profound. And he even expanded to say, Khori, when people are deeply in love with each other and they are happy with each other, they'll speak softly. And sometimes they can even chill in silence and not even say a word, but they feel so connected and they feel like one. And I think that was such a profound way to explain why people react the way they do in some of the situations. You know what I mean? And then say, yeah, mental health.
That's very profound. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, yeah, sweet. I'll actually find that clip and then I'll tag you.
Sure.
Yeah, sweet. Another question I don't know, it's about collaborations, which I think it's a very integral part of growing as a creative, right? Is there any particular collaborative project that you would recall, it brought the best out of you, and what is it that you would say you'd learn from it?
So I was working on an animation with Amisha Nega, Zintle Sitole, and Nkosinathi Dlomo. And it was a really difficult time because it was in the crux of lockdown. So we were working virtually. So, we're used to each other's energies in studio, but then COVID changed so many things. And now we're trying to make sense of this new discipline. It was a new discipline for all four of us. And yeah, it was difficult. It was very, very difficult. But the work that we produced is so beautiful. The animation is called Brainy Days. And it's about a protagonist that is just going through their journey of realizing that they have ADHD and overcoming that and anxieties. So they learn how to make new friends. They learn how to relax in anxious situations. And it was meant to help kids understand what anxiety is, what ADHD is. You are seen, you are heard, and you are valid.
HD, I asked you a question.
A ladybug has wings? Okay, I can do this.
So I really enjoyed working on that concept because it made me realize that, first of all, do I have ADHD? Am I an adult with undiagnosed ADHD? I wonder. So researching, finding that out, and then making it about kids, making it about the kids, making sure that these kids just need to know that it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to go through what you go through. There are ways in which that you can deal with these things. So I'm very proud of the work that we put forth. It was the first time I did animation.
Yeah.
Living and breathing through YouTube because wow, the character, rigging and making them move and Charlie was a lot.
And I think that's one of the beautiful things that you will learn from being at Umuzi. How to it teaches you that if somebody can do it, there's no reason you cannot do it. It's like it teaches you that, I think they say it's conventional learning. You learn to apply immediately, and that it's pretty much like the quickest way to actually learn. You say it's Brainy Days. Where does that come from, Brainy Days?
Because I think we used what's that movie called? Inside Out. Okay. We used Inside Out as one of our references, and then we saw the concept of Inside Out. There are conversations happening in the person's head. So like there are multiple people that exist inside of you, and the headquarters are the brain. So we were like, brain, how can we play around with the word brain? Brainy Days. And I don't know, we stumbled upon that name because we had a session whereby we were like, okay, what's the title of this animation? We were calling it this animation for some time. And then, Brainy Days came about, maybe because some days are rainy when you're going through it. I don't know, child. Like,
or it's days that actually are in your head.
The days are in your head. I like that. I like that perspective. So when we got to Brainy Days, it felt right. When we decided that the characters are genderless, that felt right. Like, let this be a world that we haven't seen before.
Speaking of like COVID, like starting kind of, I'm like having to work through COVID. What were the biggest challenges, like connecting with your team and then getting this project done?
You don't know if your teammate is unavailable due to the reasons that they say. Like, do you actually have load shedding? Is it actually lack of data? Like, is you a liar? When I want to shaya, like, so sometimes it's very difficult to get everyone to be present, because the reality is that if you are working from your apartment or your home setting, maybe the people that you're living with don't really understand what it is that you're doing. I moved back home and my parents were like, oh, di papai, she's vibing. That's not work. That's vibes. Just like vibing. Amisha's mom even said there was like a 4-hour-long meeting. Veli, our manager.
Shout out Veja.
Veli
Veja can talk for days.
And orata togetherness. So for guys, are we together? So I think we were like in a 4-hour work call. Amisha's mom is like, how come you actually work? It's like, Mom, I work Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. What do you mean? They don't understand that creativity is like a job. When we're laughing around, that's actually part of the process. I remember Patamidi once said something like, an artist doesn't waste time. We don't have such a thing as wasting time. Every single thing that you do inspires your brain and makes it work somehow, some way. So if you're procrastinating, handing in work or an assignment, and then you go play a game, you're not wasting time. You're actually using that time to like regenerate in a sense. So having to get people to be on the same page wasn't always easy when you're working virtually, but you try your best.
You are actually still working in the within the film industry, Mzansi, right? And I definitely look forward to some really dope stuff that you will produce. I actually want to get a sense of where you think the industry in South Africa, the film industry specifically, is at compared to other countries, like I would even say USA, because it's probably the best in the game.
I don't know if Mzansi Wood is like really true.
Is that what you call it?
Yes, I call it Mzansi Wood.
Yes, sir!
Hollywood, Hollywood, Bollywood. I tried the South African wood. That doesn't work. African wood. It's not mixture.
It's not.
It's can't be. It's can't be. And I'm like, Mzansi wood. Mzansi wood actually sounds nice. So I think I call it Mzansi wood. Not I think. I know I call it Mzansi wood. I like it. I call it Mzansi wood, and I'm saying that a lot. Anyways. I think it's because you pointed it out. We are growing. Definitely, we are growing. I love to see the quality, the different faces that we're seeing on on our screens. Like, what a time to be alive, what a time to be a filmmaker, what a time to be a storyteller. But I don't know if we are always honoring our truths, or if we're just going according to like hype. I think we also like copy pasting what Hollywood has done. It's like, oh, this is what's popping in Hollywood. Let us try to make it fit into the South African context. But by virtue of starting with a Hollywood narrative, it means like you've already taken certain things away. So I think in order for us like to really place our mark globally, we need to be very honest with our narratives and let us speak our languages. This thing, like a production, that's awkward. That's very awkward. We can speak English and people will say that, no, we're trying to reach a wider audience. But on Netflix, I watch your La Casa de Papels. Like, I read the subtitles. I watch Lupin, because I'm invested in the storyline. So if we as South Africans invest more and really trust ourselves more,
I think it's exactly that reason that the Afrobeat, the Nigerian sound, music was propelled and made waves because they have this English, it's their English, you know what I mean? Like, even if somebody came from nowhere and then this English, they would know, this one Nigerian,
yes,
you don't even have to think twice about it. I actually think you make a very, very valid point. So the film industry, it's evolving, new trends, the new technology coming up. How do you keep up with all these new things that just can never cease to stop popping up?
It's helpful because grata dilo. So AI, what's that? Let me read what AI is. Let me try generating different characters through AI. When they say augmented reality, I'm like, okay, let's try and see what that is. What's virtual reality, I try to do research as much as possible. Live and breathe through YouTube, baby.
Yes, sir.
YouTubers help us a lot.
Sir. The University of YouTube.
Danko. And I try to also not go according to the crowd or like the process. So I'll try and make it make sense for Pablo the filmmaker then. It's like, okay, which space am I in? Does it correlate with this? How far am I taking the experimenting? Let's go.
Since now everybody's talking about AI, it seems to be like the new normal now. Which tools, or even if it's not like specifically AI, like which tools would you think, they make your life so easy? Like it's how we discover it, then you were like, you know what? You were made for me.
I might cry. I need a moment. Mid-Journey. I came across Mid-Journey.
Right. Yep.
And in as much as like I'm a visual person.
Talk us through what Mid-Journey is first.
Oh, okay. Hey, so Mid-Journey is a
is it like midlife crisis in your journey to become a creative?
That's actually very powerful. If you think about it, maybe it is. They meet you in the middle of your journey of creating.
I love that.
I'm going to try and describe this as best as possible.
Yeah.
The caption of what
We'll do it in post.
The editor just like love So Mid-Journey is like it's not a software, it's like this open source thing, like where people experiment. So I want to believe that it's like developers or like coders that created this space in order for us to prompt images. So you type something into the type engine. You type something into the engine, and then according to what you have typed, it creates an image. Wow, magic. Wow, unbelievable. So it's very challenging because you can type unicorn with 4 arms that is black. hey, ebe go tswa spoko. And you're like, yay. Is that a thing that I generated? But then you work on it more. You learn the languages of like, you learn film language, you learn design language, and then you try by all means to make it make sense for the bots even that are generating this. So when I went on that journey, it was tricky in the beginning because I was like, yo, these images are actually ugly. They're very, very, very ugly. The things that are prompted, maybe Tosashem. Ooh, Nitsusa. Ooh. And then I tried out mid-journey and things were actually a little bit more simpler. Like I had a better understanding of certain jargon that would help me generate images that I would be shocked at. I was like, whoa, I typed a sentence or I typed a paragraph and this is what came of it. This is so futuristic. I understand that there's a lot of debates about it. Designers feel like, itotsaya span sabone. And I don't think that. I think AI is meant for us to dream, to think of different possibilities, because I feel like I can tell when that's an image that was prompted through AI systems, or this is an image that was painted by a designer. This is an image that was actually made more Photoshop. But not everyone then can decipher the difference between AI and something that was made. So my thinking is that tell us that, okay, this was AI prompted. And then tell us that, okay, this is me. I made this from scratch. Because I do recognize that, like, la roba, like, la roba, hey, la roba, like, But for me, it's taken me on a beautiful journey. Just to, like, add on Bikinyana, I'm just on this journey to understand my ancestry, to understand where I come from, to understand my lineage. So there are people in my lineage that I've never met, I've never seen them. So now through AI, I can dream these deities. I can dream out these queens and these kings that I come from. And if this is something that's just for me, that's okay. If other people resonate, that's cool too. But
I like the perspective that you put to it, bro, because like you say, it's like a platform to imagine, and be able to live in a world that you would otherwise not physically live in, right? But the idea of AI is really amazing, dog. Like, for instance, I saw this campaign that was fully generated mid-journey. It's a campaign, this guy actually wanted to do a collab between Canterbury, the clothing brand, and Jeep, the automotive car brand. It was so beautiful. It was even hard to tell that it was AI generated because the pictures looked so realistic. Bro, and it got me thinking, okay, for photographers, hello, you know what I mean? Because it, like you're saying, for some of these projects, it's almost impossible to decipher the differences. Was it AI? Is it like human? And that's why most creative would feel like maybe AI is taking our jobs, But on the same breath, it's creating other streams of revenue where you can now create prompts and sell, prompts. It's just a matter of how do you look at it? What opportunities do you see from it? But AI is not formed against us, it's formed for us. In the words of Pat Buffett, no AI formed against me shall prosper.
I like that. I like that. You're still a human at the end of the day.
Please.
A machine can't do what a human can because it's a human that generated that machine for it to be able to, like, guys, the brains must be used.
Please have more of these Brainy Days, Buffett. So Pablo, man, I'm really loving this chat. I think you're a really dope human being, So now, what is it that we can expect from Pablo? What's next?
The unexpected.
Yes, sir.
Always expect the unexpected with Pablo.
Yeah.
I am working on some projects.
Okay. Spill the beans.
No
spoiler alerts.
No spoiler alert.
Okay, for mañana.
Cliffhanger.
Okay.
I need to leave you guys over there.
Away.
Some projects are coming up. I've been working. I've been grinding. I've been collaborating with really passionate individuals, highly skilled, confident in their craft. So I believe that I'm going to continue in my journey, or rather, I am fully continuing in my journey of storytelling and using my art as a means to heal.
Man, that's so deep. That's so deep. So, how work that journey? I think that is the last question that we had actually with TMC. But I just wanted to ask Jorge, is there any work that exists online that you would love for people to go and check out? And where would that be? Yes.
Yo, this is a fun time. So I have works that are existing on the internet. First of all, I'd like to share a works. Wamana kholebella camera. Kholebella camera. Okay, let me restart. So the works that I have online, the first one is Ogumhlope. It is a short film that was made by Kule Maisa. It is a story of a woman finally dancing in her freedom. So I'm really happy that we won Best Short Film in Germany. And yeah, the film has been doing really, really great. It's premiered in New York. It's shown everywhere, guys. Oh my gosh, like we're really pursuing our passions and it's working for us. The next film that I have is Equilibrium, and that one is soon to be shown online. Equilibrium has been shown at the Detroit Black Film Festival. It's also showed at the Mental Filmness Festival in the UK. We have a nomination for Best Short Film from the Budapest Film Festival, and we also showed at Philippines and in a lot of places in Joburg. We had a lot of public screenings in Johannesburg. So I'm very proud of these two body of works and what they've done and how they've impacted other people as well. We also have a work, or rather, I have work online called The Art of Adaptability. I worked again with Nkosinati and Misha and Zinke on it. The Art of Adaptability is meant to inspire people to continue to upskill in their careers. So no matter where you are on your journey, it is okay to, learn a new skill or learn a skill that pertains unto the career path that you have chosen for yourself, because it's all about upward growth and forward movement. And you shouldn't be afraid because resources are there, the time and the capacity is there, and just allow yourself to be agile, like be flexible in the way that you move and in your journey. You may have a goal and you may have a certain vision, but sometimes new things will arise, new opportunities will arise. So how ready will you be when those things come?
So this is exactly how we come to the end of this really, really, really amazing episode of TMC. If there's anything that I took away from this episode, will you be ready when change comes? You know what I mean? So Pablo, this is the time I give the tight to you to close the show for us. Okay. Yeah, like you'll do the outro and tell them to do the subscribing and the king. Yes. Yes.
The Millennials Corner. This is the home for creativity and technology. There's a lot of amazing people working towards making this thing a thing, and I'm very proud of the team, and I'm very happy to see who has been part of this journey as well. Ke kopa le subscribing. Bo baby, subscribe, comment, engage with us. Let us know how you feel about the episode. Let us know what else you want to see from TMZ, and please share with everyone. About TMC. Please, 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 please. Thank you for being with us, and cheers from the TMC fam.
Cheers from the TMC fam.
We give our guests one question to ask.
Okay.
Any question you want.
Hey.
Oh, I must ask Guy. You guys should have prepared me so that I can prepare a difficult question.
Man, I always try to run away from this part. Yeah. I think I enjoy asking people questions than answering them.
When you are presenting, why do you tell the camera operator what to do? And the sound, and the producer, and the scriptwriter? Ikalos.
Like, I think it's how I learned more gaming, you know. When like I learned to go Umuzi, being a creative. I think that's where the spark was actually ignited. Yes. And the nature of the space Umuzi, it's a space where you can do anything. You know, you can be a DOP, you can be an editor. And after Umuzi, I have worked in a corporate space, and then which is Teleshow, and then from corporate space at Teleshow, I moved into startups. And the nature of startups, obviously, you know, you are required to wear many hats. So for the most part of my career, I've always found myself in spaces where I had to be multiple people in a project. You know, is that a good trade? I don't know. But yeah, I think that's what actually influences that behavior. Yeah.
Thank you, Multi.
Yes, sir.
Multifaceted.
You call me multifaceted.
To close that off and have your own guy presenting bubble, so that if a meteor hits and you still need to continue, you need to go for it. Even if Bonolo is moving around, even if MCZ is signaling something, I just want you to create your own bubble. Don't be distracted by people. Don't even care about the lighting. Don't care about the camera. They must care about it. They must stress about it. What you must focus on is guy. Yeah, doing this is your chair. You've got plant support there. Wa go bola o Mariana ge nabina ka chest yana. O Marion ga o mits. Ka gore na sa act go generation sa ga o mits. Wena guy. Wena. Ke kopa le moving the login details tsa Netflix. Ke kopa di login details tsa Netflix le tsa Showmax to Amazon Prime Million e fa mahala 1 month free. Foundation. O berekisang Mac.
I don't know.
How we tshasa fela.
No, I maybe just came up on task. On every Mac.
Yo. Come on,
How